So, when it comes to motivation, you're either pushed to do things or you're pulled to do things. And we can break that down into intrinsic motivation and extrinsic motivation. So, what do I mean by that? So, if you are pulled to do something, if it is within intrinsically you feel the drive and the desire to do something, then that is known as intrinsic motivation, which means it comes from within you. You, with all your being, you want to do this thing. And on the flip side, there's external motivation, extrinsic motivation, which is, can be things like, so you've got work to do, you've got an essay to do for school or university, and there's a deadline. So you, in a sense, you're controlled and restricted because there's this external motivation forcing you to get this done by that time. So one of the key takeaways of this video is that what you want to do is you want to move away from external extrinsic motivation to internal intrinsic motivation, because it really cultivates long-term sort of adherence to any value or success goal. Do you know what I mean? If you are internally and intrinsically motivated by every fibre of your being to want to achieve a certain success goal, value goal, dream, think about it, like you are going to be invested in that. You are going for the long run. Do you know what I mean? Whereas the problem with external motivation is it comes and goes, and you are dependent on an external source. You are dependent on an external stimulus to achieve something. So another example of, like, say, an external motivation would be you're very reliant on, maybe say, some external figure, individual, some charismatic individual who pushes you to do things. And don't get me wrong, like, I'm not dismissing the utility of that. Some people out there do need to be pushed. Do you know what I mean? I've encountered that in my life. I don't need to be pushed to do anything. I will fucking do something out of my own willpower, out of my own internal drive. I can't say I was born this way. I worked to get this way. Drive is something that can take years to develop. It's not something that you just wake up and be like, oh fuck, I am driven to go to the gym today, or I'm driven to go to university. It's something that needs to be cultivated over a long stretch of time, but it doesn't mean that you can't do it. So yeah, definitely in the short term, people do need to be pushed on. I want to be a personal trainer, and I know that with a lot of clients I'm gonna have to push them, because they might need that initially, and then who's to say they train with me and then further down the line they've got that sense of what I'm going to talk about next, which is self-determination theory, which is like 3 basic key components of human motivation and flourishing, which is a sense of autonomy, a sense of competency, and a sense of relatedness. So I'll break that down, each one of those things. So, like, a sense of competency is essentially, you feel good for your skills. You feel like a competent, proficient, and sort of just a human with a lot of abilities, essentially. And that can be reinforced by positive feedback from your peers and people around you. Like, if you're a good footballer, like, somebody praises you after a game, that reinforces your sense of competency as a footballer. If you go to the gym, you train, and somebody notices that you're making progress, you're building muscle, you're building strength, you're even getting a wee bit of lean or losing body fat, somebody compliments you on your physique, that reinforces that sense of competency within you, and reaffirms to you that you really are doing a good job. You know what I mean? That what you're doing, like, you have skills, and what you're doing, it just reaffirms to you that what you're doing is the right thing, and that you're doing the right thing. Sense of autonomy. So that essentially is just you feeling like your own man or woman. You've got your own independence. I found a lot of the time when it comes to maybe uni or work, I find that if I am given more autonomy, to do tasks or to, you know, from work. Like, if managers aren't too overburdening me and like telling me what to do, like loads and loads of different tasks, I kind of know what to do, and you know, because I'm working there that long, I feel a lot more internal intrinsic motivation to work because I have that sense of autonomy, rather than, you know, managers constantly telling you what to do. You know, so that really falls back to external motivation, and then, you know, it really becomes at that point like you take away the money in a lot of jobs, and like that's the only reason you're there, like. And that's the topic for maybe in our video about like the distinction between jobs and careers and vocations. You know, a lot of the time, like, we work jobs just as a means to an end to make money, but you know, it is what it is. It doesn't mean that you still can't enjoy the job or derive joy from it, but there is a big difference between a job and a career and a vocation. And then the final element of the self-determination theory is a sense of relatedness. Now, this is quite an interesting one because a sense of relatedness essentially, you know, is how many friends you have, your family, your social network, that sense of like belonging and tribe that we all crave as human beings. We're social beings, social animals. And the thing is, like, if people don't get those three elements and components of the self-determination theory, they will go looking for it in different places, and particularly they'll go looking for it online, using the internet and using social media, which, to be quite honest with you, is not a great place to be looking for those things. You know, especially like the sense of relatedness, like you're having to, like, if you don't have like real life friends, so to speak, or you don't really get on with your family, you don't have like a solid social network or tribe, and don't get that sense of belonging in the real world, you will go looking for that online, on Instagram, on Facebook, on Snapchat, or whatever social media platform you use. And I mean, studies really show that excessive use of social media is detrimental to people's mental health. It's a double-edged sword. Like, you know, I've switched to using social media really as like a tool to produce content for people that can add value to people's lives and improve people's lives. Do you know what I mean? Like, especially like something like as superficial as Instagram. I mean, you can use Instagram as a tool to really help people improve their lives and add value to their lives, you know, and like impart knowledge and wisdom. But like a lot of people just use Instagram as like just a fucking vanity and narcissistic tool to like just, and I've been guilty of it myself. I'll fucking stand up and admit that I've used Instagram before just to make myself feel good, because put up a picture of my body or just put up pictures of like going out and get likes, and like those wee dopamine drops and fucking external validation fucking nuggets, like, do you know what I mean? But I've had a conscious shift away from that, because I see the real value in adding, like, I see the real value and significance of like helping people improve their lives and helping them foster greater personal growth and personal development. And that's a big takeaway from this video. You know, I'm not saying you have to go out there and like take videos and like start fucking going mad and doing X, Y, and Z, but maybe just shift how you use social media. Do you know what I mean? Like, if you're a girl, do you know what I mean? Or do you want to be like those fucking innumerable Instagram beauty girls, like, who just post up pictures of their ass because they know that's going to get them attention? Do you know what I mean? And don't get me wrong, like, we all love a good Instagram beauty, but like, do you know what I mean? Like, what are you adding to the world? Like, you know, what value are you imparting to people? How are you improving people's lives? You know, maybe in some cases those girls like are sharing workouts like in how to build up, you know, a good ass or glutes, and that's good. Do you know what I mean? Like, fair play. But if you're not doing that, if you're just like throwing up a fucking Instagram booty pic with an Albert Einstein quote, like, what the fuck are you doing here? Like, do you know what I mean? I mean, like, honestly, like, catch yourself on. Like, start fucking adding value to people's lives. Start like making a real meaningful and impactful difference to people's lives. Especially if you have a big audience, you've definitely got a bigger responsibility if you have a bigger audience. But yeah, that's the way you rant on Instagram beauty girls. But like, the same goes for guys as well. Like, do you know, if you're just posting up pictures of your body and you're not actually like sharing any knowledge or wisdom and how you got that physique and like what you do, I mean, bro, like, come on, like, don't fucking fall for that scarcity mindset. Like, start sharing and producing content for people. Start like helping people improve their lives, and it will make you feel so good because like, I don't give a fuck how many likes I get on Instagram now. It's just, the thing that matters to me is if I am making a true meaningful impact in people's lives and on value people's lives and improving their people's lives. And I've got feedback from people who reaffirm that to me, that I have made a difference. They've learned things. And like, I could get 1,000 likes, 100 likes, 10 likes. I don't care, as long as I impact one person, just one fucking person's life. Then that's enough for me. That reaffirms to me that my mission, what I'm doing, is the right thing to do. So maybe just to recap and just finish the video off in terms of what we originally started on, which was the distinction between internal and external motivation. So, like I said, it's not easy to cultivate that ability to be driven and motivated internally, and it takes time. But even if it means going to a personal trainer, even if it means watching David Goggins videos, watching Jordan Peterson videos, I love that man. Do you know what I mean? Like, he's somebody I look up to. He's somebody like I've maybe got external motivation from. Like, people like that, like, they're figures in my life who I take things from, and you know, I really learn a lot from them. But I'm not like dependent on them. You know what I mean? I don't need to watch a David Goggins video. I don't need to watch a David Goggins video to go fucking work out. Do you know what I mean? I don't have to do that. I'll watch his videos in my own time just because the man's a fucking freak and one of the toughest human beings in the history of mankind, and I like watching his videos and I love his mentality and his mindset. But I'm not dependent on David Goggins to like push me to go to the gym or work out or do anything. Do you know what I mean? So like, that's the point you want to, like, that's what you want to get to. Like, you want to be able to like just fucking have that drive and hunger to do things yourself and not have to be dependent on other people or some sort of external stimulus. That's why I don't even listen to music. I don't even listen to music in the gym anymore, because like, I don't need it. Honestly, I'll listen to it in my free time when I feel like it, but I don't need fucking music to work out. I've got a greater purpose to work out, and that's just because I love it, and like, I want to live a long, happy, healthy life. So really, the big takeaway from this video is just develop that ability to be driven. It will take time, and if you have to be reliant on others to push you, so be it. I'm not saying that's wrong. It isn't wrong. I like, for me to be driven, I had to be pushed by certain people and by certain influences. But you can get to that point where you are fucking driven to do things by your own intuition and by your own desire and drive. And it's a beautiful thing. And like, all your success goals, value goals, everything that you want to achieve in life, if you've got that drive, that insatiable drive, you will fucking achieve them. Trust me on that. So yeah, that's the video, and I hope you all enjoyed it, and I will see you in the next one.